Hey gardening friends, coming to you from Byron, New York, January 9th, 2021. According to my phone, the temperature is about 36 degrees and we don't have any snow on the ground. And we haven't really had any significant snow cover since Christmas. It's been kind of a strange winter here in Western New York. We get some snow and then it melts and then it's cold and we've gotten freezing rain. So it's really been a freezing and thawing cycle this winter, which not great for the garden. I actually prefer it when we have a good snow cover on the ground. Snow's a great insulator. It keeps your soil frozen, keeps plants from freezing and thawing and roots heaving. But since the sun is shining today, I thought I'd come out and see what's going on, if there's any plants I need to protect from rabbits, deer, are the voles active this year? Just thought I'd do a little walk around. But I also wanted to show you some plants that if you don't have snow cover, the garden can still look nice in the winter. Winter's a great time to get into your garden, just to look at what we call the bones of the garden, the structure. Maybe you can do your to-do list for the spring, because this bed needs some work. And, I'll do some mental checklists here and see what we can get done in the spring. But this shrub tree right here is one of my favorite winter landscapes. This is gold thread Camisiporis. It's an evergreen. It's not native to the United States. This is a dwarf form, maybe. The tag said it's dwarf, but I think it's probably maybe going to top out at 10 feet in a couple years. Even dwarf evergreens continue to grow through their lifetime, so depending on how long you have them in the garden, they may eventually even outgrow their space. But I love this one. I love gold in the garden. When the sun is shining in the fall and winter, this shrub just comes into its own, because everything else, the flowers are done. The other shrubs have lost leaves. This glows. Like I said, it just glows. So I have a couple of them on the property. I do like to have evergreens for structure, for winter interest, and also for the birds to hide in. So it gives them shelter, protection from predators, from the weather. And, I do also have some perennials that stay evergreen. This is Hydrangea here, Spirea. In the back here, we've got a juniper, and as you can see, the bottom of it lost its foliage. One winter, I put one of those, well, they're like a bag to put over it. Well, I didn't stake it down to the ground enough, and the rabbits got under there and basically had a nice little cozy spot where they could eat as far up as they could reach. But the tree survived. They didn't girdle it, fortunately. And I think that's a gold cone juniper, although it doesn't have a lot of gold foliage on it. This is the north side of my garage. So I am trying to get more ground covery things. Got ground covers, help. They're like a mulch, but they're a living mulch. They keep weeds out if they're dense enough. They look nicer than just mulch everywhere. They can have aesthetic value. You can look for ones that maybe have flowers in the spring. And let's start with our hellebores over here. Hellebores are one of the first flowers to bloom in the spring. Sometimes they're called Christmas rose. They're a lot of them are hardy zone 5, some are more zone 6 depending on the species. So that's hellebore, and the leaves are evergreen. They will look kind of ratty by spring, and what I'll do is once I see new buds coming up, I usually come out and cut back the old foliage. This is actually down here one of my favorite ground covers. This is big root geranium. It's a hardy geranium. It does bloom if it has more sun. Where I have it, it doesn't bloom a lot, but I'm more interested in it as a ground cover. As you can see, you know, in the fall, the stems take on that red. The leaves get a little reddish in them. If you're working in the bed, it actually has kind of a citrusy scent to it. So I've used it in some number of spots in the garden. It will take shade, not deep shade, but light shade. And if you have it in a sunnier spot, it does bloom. But I do like this plant, and again, it's called big root geranium, and it spreads slowly. Every couple years, I like to keep it in this area, so I'll just pull up what's going out of bounds and plant it someplace else. Now here's a native shrub. This is red osier dogwood. I actually did not plant it in this spot because this is not a good spot for it, but I also didn't dig it up. So it gets berries on it, the birds like it, but it's great for these red stems, and I've used them in flower arrangements, fall arrangements, and actually cutting the plant back in the spring will encourage new growth, and the new growth is what is more red. You can see as it ages, it's not quite as red. Oh, and Molly's out in the garden today too. Molly, quit digging in my garden. And then we have some of my favorite sedges. Now with the sedges, if you saw my sedge versus rabbit, I grow a lot of the ornamental sedges. There are also native sedges, which I would like to get more of in the future. And I kind of break sedges down into two categories. This is the narrow leaf sedges. And with the narrow leaves, you can have ones that act more as a ground cover like this one is, or some that are more clumping. And those are some of the ones I was caging up because the rabbits seem to like the expensive clumpers. And then there's also broadleaf sedges, which don't do as well in my garden, and they don't seem to be evergreen. So I've tried a couple of them, not had good luck, but I do like these ornamental ones. And I'm not sure the varietal name of this one. It might be Silver Scepter, but I could be wrong, and I probably am. So another evergreen I've tried is epimediums. These are great for dry shade. They have pretty little flowers in the spring. Not real common in garden centers, but becoming more common. They can be a little pricey, and I've had mixed luck with them. Anything that has evergreen foliage in the winter can succumb to winter burn or drying winds, so you've got to kind of be careful where you place them, especially I found the epimediums. Let's see, these are just some hosta flowers that are left. Looks like I might have had some seeds. This is ajuga. This is one of the ajugas. And while ajuga can be rather aggressive in the garden, this is more of a clumping one. This has been here for 4 or 5 years, and it has not spread very far. I think this is one of the crisp varieties, but I do like the color. There are so many varieties of ajuga now that you can get different colors, a little bit of leaf shape. I have Catlin, which is a large leafed ajuga. I found the variegated ones don't seem quite as hardy in my garden, or as winter hardy anyway. I've got some Crydalis here. I have yellow and a white form of Crydalis. And this, if the weather's mild, I've had this bloom into December. So it is pretty much evergreen now. It'll stay, and then it'll start blooming again probably in May. and it does self-sow. Got some more hellebore. Got periwinkle up on the hill, which, you know, is pretty aggressive in the garden. I inherited that, and it is kind of taking over. Will announce that this garden has been somewhat neglected over the last few years. It needs some work. All right, this is actually silver dollar plant. I've had some in here, so there's some seeds left. I've tried to move it out of here. It's an older plant. It gets those seed pods that look like silver dollars. This is a coral bells. That's Palace purple. And one stays sort of evergreen. Hellebore, I do use quite a bit of hellebore. I don't cut back my hydrangeas. Here's one of my clumping sedges that I have caged up so the rabbits can't destroy it. And like I said, voles also like sedges, and they will eat under the roots. So I've been looking for vole paths. Unfortunately, they do like ground cover because they want some shelter. They're active all winter. I've got some art in the garden, so you've got some interest. And I think that's about it for this garden and winter interest. But just to give you guys some ideas of, you know, maybe doing something different or not just using mulch. If you're in an area where you don't have 6 months of winter, you obviously want to be able to enjoy your garden when you can go outside. So hopefully this will give you some ideas. But yeah, if it's nice out, get out, check out your garden, see what's out there, see if the deer have been nibbling on anything. I see I have to protect my oak leaf hydrangea a little better. The rabbits found some sedges I missed, of course. And so far I've only found one vole tunnel, so that's good. All right, folks. We'll see you in the garden again soon.